Every time I ate sour cream, my face exploded. And I was told it was just rosacea and to live with it. And I was told to manage my triggers. And so I tried everything. I actually had myself convinced, well, they had me convinced, that I must be lactose intolerant or something, which didn't make sense to me because I've drank milk and eaten dairy products all my life. It was only in the last 5-7 years that this started showing up. It was only since about 2015 that suddenly this acne started showing up on my face. So I went to my doctor and I asked to see an allergies because I thought, okay, it's got to be allergies. I went to an allergist. I sat there when they're doing the skin prick thing, praying to God, please don't let it be dairy. And I wasn't allergic to any foods according to their testing. And so then I was sent to a dermatologist and he gave me a cream. And I asked him, are you sure it has nothing to do with my gut? Oh no, here's a cream, it'll fix it. Well, it didn't. So I dutifully did a couple weeks of putting the cream on, knowing or thinking to myself, this isn't going to do anything. And sure enough, it didn't. And I was convinced it had to be linked to what I was eating, and it had to be linked to gut issues, because the flare would happen within minutes of eating certain foods, and it took years. It took me nearly 8 years to figure out what it was. And one night my husband had made us a beautiful dinner, and within a few minutes of eating it, he'd made everything, the salad dressing, the salad, the steak, all of the things that we were eating. So we knew all the ingredients were good. And suddenly my face was breaking out. And I asked him, I said, what have you put in the salad dressing? And he said, sour cream. And I thought, oh my gosh, what's in the sour cream? So I went and looked, because you know, it says 100% pure on the label. So you think you're eating something clean. You're even trying to eat clean and you're not eating clean. And so I looked at all the ingredients and I was horrified. There was gums and stabilizers and fillers and I can't even, milk solids, which is code for all kinds of other things that they're allowed to put into food that really are, like MSG can be underneath the label of milk solids. I think also maltodextrin can, a whole bunch of things. I forget them all. I've been researching it for so long. It's like, I've blanked on it. Now I know what to look for. I don't remember all the details about everything, but I know what to look for and I know what to keep out of my diet. Anything that says milk solids, anything that says maltodextrin, anything that says carrageenan, guar gum, all of the gums, all of the stabilizers, all of the fillers. Methyl cellulose is another one that I react to really badly, and it's in a ton of things. So I vowed that day, it's like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to learn to make my own sour cream because I cannot eat store-bought sour cream, which is a travesty because who doesn't like sour cream on everything? And sadly, once you become aware of these issues and you start looking for things, you realize that it's really difficult to actually find clean ingredients. It's really difficult to find any dairy that doesn't have milk solids in it. It's really difficult to find cheese nowadays that's actually made with rennet. It's really difficult. They use microbial enzyme instead, which sounds good. Microbial enzyme. It sounds like something that's going to culture your cheese. And yes, it does. But it's actually a genetically modified organism. Whereas rennet is a natural thing. It's a natural lining of a calf's stomach or a goat's stomach. A baby animal's stomach, a baby ruminant animal's stomach has the rennet in it because that's what when the baby animal is drinking the mother's milk, the lining of the stomach curdles it into basically a cheese. And the curdling of that milk in the calf or kid's stomach is what feeds it. So despite the fact that this has all been allowed by the food industry, it doesn't mean our bodies are able to metabolize it. And it isn't. And so I end up with this horrible cystic acne on my face from these fake foods. So after that moment, I realized it's not dairy that's the problem. It's modern dairy that's the problem. Sour cream at home has got to be the easiest thing on earth to make. And really, these ingredients are the only thing that should be in sour cream. Unfortunately, it's not the case for store-bought sour cream. And it's a lovely thing. One more thing you can use your kefir for. You can use a store-bought buttermilk or yogurt, but since you have this at home now, one little scoop of that, you give it a little stir, and literally that's it. Now you just need a warm room and 12 to 24 hours. I like my sour cream to have a little bit more tang, so I add just a splash of vinegar. Give it a little stir. And now that's it. Which is why I now make my own kefir, I make my own yogurt, and yes, I make my own sour cream. And honestly, like those other products, once you've made your own sour cream, you won't go back to store-bought. Because in the end, sour cream is supposed to be alive. It's supposed to be digestible. It's supposed to have live enzymes and bacteria in it, just like kefir and yogurt. And when you make it yourself, it does. And therefore, it's healthier for you. So now I'm gonna look at the sour cream. It's been 24 hours. And look at that. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So that will go in the fridge to be enjoyed the next few days. So now I can enjoy my sour cream. I don't get skin flare-ups. I don't get bloating. I don't get insomnia and all kinds of other crazy things that people get. And I have no regret because I know I'm eating a really nice, clean, probiotic, healthy product. So if dairy doesn't work for you, it might not be the dairy. It just might be that you've got the wrong kind of dairy and you need to come on over to the live dairy side of life. So if dairy doesn't work for you, rest assured, you might not be broken. You're just eating the wrong version of it. So this is how I ended up rebuilding everything that I eat. So if you're into ancestral cooking, fermentation, and learning about the modern food system and its lies, subscribe and follow along.